You've been told that you are failed to quit because you're weak. You don't have willpower, right? But most smokers didn't fall because of lack of willpower. They got conditioned into learned helplessness. Repeated fails teach your brain that your effort means nothing. It changes nothing. And so we just continue smoking. You stop trying. And the system here works perfectly. According to a study in the United States, 1 of 10 adults who try to quit succeed in any given year. And so that's not a character flaw. It's a system that trains helplessness. And so you are not broken, you are just untrained. So you need to train. And that's exactly what we are going to do in this video. Let's get right into it. Here's what it used to look like for me. I used to, at night, smoke. And then I decide that I want to quit. And then in the next day, I decide that, you know what? Not today. And then I buy a pack and smoke. And then I feel shame, I feel defeat, because I already declared my battle against smoking, but where's the result? And that's where the lies start to pop out. I'm just managing stress. This job is really stressful. How you can cope without cigarettes? And so it's a cycle of learned helplessness. I smoke because I'm stressed, because I smoke because I'm stressed, and so on. And everything in life follows this logic when you keep smoking continuously. It becomes repeated losses, a streak, so to say. And in this context, your life becomes way smaller than it actually is. You fail at quitting smoking to manage stress in life, and you're stressed in life because you're failing continuously, and you are failing at quitting, and it's just adding to the equation continuously. And that's why quitting smoking feels impossible to a degree, because it is a cycle that feeds helplessness. And because you smoke, you always look for a small win and a small gain here and there. And I got married, and because when I quit smoking, I started to see the actual misdynamic in the relationship and whatnot. I made a video about it, you can watch that. When I quit smoking, I had to face the relationship as it is, not what the nicotine made me feel. And so the cost here wasn't just lungs or breathe better or whatever. It was years. It was a catastrophic realization. It was stress, financials, all of the package that comes with a messy divorce. So relief now and regret later is still a regret. Nothing will change that. But control usually feels better than calm. The smokers who want to quit, when I was quitting, I know this for a fact. We don't want just to climb the stairs with ease. We don't just want an easy life with lungs. We don't just want a smoke-free lungs. We want dignity in our lives. Meaning, we want to not be controlled by the smoke at night or at day or in breaks or whenever, right? We want agency on our lives. And we want to stop burning money on smoking, cheap or expensive. And we want momentum to do anything and everything at any given time. In this context, you want to choose power, not anesthesia, right? And that's what goes in the brain when you want to quit smoking. You want the cigarette not to control you. That was the case for me, at least. And so it's not the nicotine that you chased, it's the certainty. And this helplessness loop created by these 3 traps. Failure conditioning. You try, you slip, and your brain registers effort equals failure. Over time, that becomes a belief, not just a one-time observation. And here's the thing. Low self-efficiency predicts the worst cessation outcome, while the high self-efficiency predicts the best ones. That's the lever you've been missing. The second trap is relief reinforcement. Each cigarette reduces the stress, which rewards the behavior and strengthens the lie that says you are weak without one. That's because quitting is hard and success rates are low, especially without treatment. So the environment keeps teaching you, see, you can't. And third, the hidden life cost. Smoking is not just about health and about lungs and about breathing. It's also an opportunity. It's also about your partner that you choose. It's also the environment you're in, the jobs you take on, the effort you put in the jobs, because your life shrunk because of the repeated self-helplessness. And so you keep doing the same thing you are doing with the smoking. Small hit, a small win, and small hit, and small win. You never learn to do long term. And it's not a coincidence that studies agree that lower employment and lower education and lower income are correlated with smokers. Like the more you smoke, extra pack per day, the closer you are to fail. And that's money and career opportunities leaking out of your identity. And I felt it in my personal life too. When I work, I pass on some jobs because I smoke and they wouldn't allow smokers. Like I mentioned, I entered a failed relationship because I smoke, because we shared a truth called smoking. At every training, I felt like I am breathing through a straw because I have asthma. And in work, I was always present but fogged. And the pattern, the more I tried to fight, the more I tried to quit, the more I learned the more I learned helplessness, the more I learned don't try to change. And so I didn't. And that happened for 12 years. The loop pays you in minutes, but it charges you in years. Now, the change came when I started to do what's called shadow work and journaling through ChatGPT, which gave me an opportunity to do identity level work. And so I started to retrain my identity, and I gave up on the idea of willpower, just white knuckle it. Identity beats willpower every time. And so I started to train this new Henry, the non-smoker. And so first we start with, as identity, we start first with language. Language matters when you are thinking with yourself. Language flips power. When you say, I can't, I don't want to, versus I don't, I'm not gonna do that. Two different tones, two different words, two different execution patterns, completely. One is relying on willpower that vanishes. The other is solid identity that never shakes under any pressure. Calling the cravings for what they are. They are cravings. This is a wave. It's gonna pass away. It's not, my body is screaming for a cigarette. It's a craving. It's not a physical pain that you're feeling. It passes. And what happens is that over time you start to take action over acting. You don't act. You don't pretend you're not smoking. You are a non-smoker who was stuck in a bad habit. And that's how you change. That's how you actually change. And this shows control, and it is an antidote for helplessness through repetition. And over time, we come to the second part of the identity. Basically, like I mentioned, identity beats willpower every time. When you say, I don't smoke, it's different from saying, I'm trying to quit, or I'm trying to cease, or I'm trying, whatever you're trying. It's not you. It's something that is not you. But when you say, I don't smoke, not I don't smoke like lying to yourself, but actually you need, go watch my 1 honest hour video to understand what I'm talking about. When you become honest with yourself, you start to understand your relationship with the smoking, and through honesty, you understand your identity. Okay? Go watch that video and come back here. So the non-smoker path becomes your default. And that's what you operate at all the time. And I mentioned it before, when I was quitting in my second week, I picked up a habit of running in the park. The first rounds were actually very embarrassing and very slow, and like I could barely breathe and move, generally. But I stacked proof every week, 2 times, 3 times, that I am a runner, and I kept running and running till this day. I did a video about, I attempted to 30 kilometers and I succeeded. And I'm planning to do another one after 2 weeks or so. But generally speaking, I've been consistent with running like a lot. And I don't think it's gonna break away from me. I think in the next year, I will be like signing up for an official marathon. That's what's gonna happen. But back to the 2 weeks period, I was feeling weak, but slowly but surely I built myself, and now I have better sleep. I have better walks, better climbs. I have better focus. I have better understanding of the world. I'm not overly sad and not overly happy. I am not delusional. I am realistic, and I understand peace is more important than quick happiness. Okay? That's the difference between a smoker and non-smoker. And so what ends up happening is that you train control for 1 minute and you gain identity for life. There is nothing in the world can convince me to take a cigarette right now. Absolutely nothing. And what ended up happening for me after quitting smoking through identity work, the before me was always like floating in life. But after I quit smoking, I became a shark in the sea. I can swim fast at any rhythm. Yes, there are struggles, but I am very fast. I am very good at execution. I am very doing this, doing that. It's the first time I lose 14 kilograms in a while, consistently. That never happened to me before, not even when I was even lighter. All right? So this consistency wasn't there before. Now it is after I quit smoking, because the mini reward and the mini let's smoke one before doing this and doing that, that's gone. I do it long. Do you think that I do my runs with music, or I do watch Netflix or anything? Absolutely not. I do it headphones free, just me, my phone. I track kilometers and that's it. Because the identity won. The new identity, the real me, before smoking, before the events, before the bullshit that happened to me, before wanting to belong to smokers' friends, I gained that back. And I promised myself I will never let it go. And I will keep that promise. And to take a step forward, all you have to do is to visit memories. If you are emotionally attached to smoking, visit memories, visit the past, learn to handle it properly, exactly, see it for what it is, and then smoking loses its power. All you have to do is to take step forward towards yourself, and everything falls in place. You don't have to fight for too long. I did a series of videos about my smoking experience, how I quit, everything in detail. You can check the playlist. I will put it in the description. And if you would like a helping hand to take you from a smoker to whatever you want to be, my coaching is available to you. Link also in the description, where I personally follow up with you to take you from a smoker to whatever you want to be as a non-smoker. Just like I did, and I kept my identity intact, I help you get yours too. That's it for me today. Stay safe and take care.